Well, watch me now.
Well, the only thing worse than a steroid controversy is a gun controversy. Like, how many gun controversies we go? First Plaxico, and you know, my man Steven now got down. Now we got Gilbert Arenas, man.
It's getting out of control. I think we all. I mean, I think I could go all day about this, but for one, for me, I'm petrified of guns. Two, you're in a safe environment at the arena. You know, you're protected. And the fashion in which it was about over a gambling debt, and you had 3 guns, and the way that he took it, like it was nothing. Yeah. You know that, and I mean, being suspended indefinitely, I think he got what he deserved.
So he should be suspended.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like he should be suspended. Just the whole merits of how everything went down. I feel like it's probably no other clown the end 2009 more so than Gilbert Arenas and Tiger Woods. And I'm just not saying Gilbert Arenas on the gun issue. I'm talking about the Shaq issue with Beyonce and everything about that. And it's just the guy's a clown. And it's just, you know, point blank. And it's the manager of the gambling debt. He's a $100 million athlete.
Exactly.
He's going to see $100 million because of guaranteed contract in the NBA.
Right.
So he's going to see $100 million.
Exactly. 126 of them.
126 million. He's going to see, on top of endorsement dollars and everything else. But a $5,000 bet or a $50,000 bet. Come on now, that's like 5 cents on a dollar.
I don't ever think it necessarily was about the money with Gilbert Arenas, more as he's always wanted to be that personality. Like a lot of great players in the NBA let their game speak for themselves. Gilbert Arenas has always been that guy that wanted to be the funny guy, the personality, the one that everyone loved. And so he's always doing dumb stuff throughout his career because he wants to get a laugh and he wants to be popular and he wants to be that personality.
So considering the point that I think we all can agree that he's a weird guy, he's a quote unquote funny guy, does he deserve jail time behind this? You know,
No, he doesn't deserve jail time. I mean, the law is the law in DC and nobody should be held above it, but at the same time, it didn't seem like there was any type of malice involved with it. The guns, from all accounts, were unloaded at the time, and ignorance isn't an excuse, but he doesn't deserve jail time.
There's 2 points. There's 2 points to this. First point, I'll ask you, since you say he doesn't deserve jail time. If you brought a gun into the arena, what would happen to you?
I'd get thrown in jail.
All right, that's the first thing. And I mean, and because he's an NBA player, he should be able to tote a gun in. Second point I want to make.
Well, it's his place of work, as opposed to going somewhere,
So
okay, if you brought it in your tournament. Yeah, if you brought it into your work.
If LeDon or your manager at tournament says, Torrance, it's okay for you to bring your guns here, keep them in the locker.
But do we
keep
know?
away from your kids at
know?
home.
Was that said?
I think we.
The management said that he could bring.
Yeah, the management has said that he can bring his guns.
Second point I want to make is a bigger issue. I don't know if you remember Chicago Bulls' first game in Washington after President Obama voted in.
Yeah, I remember that game.
The president potentially could be at one of those games.
Could be at the game.
And he has a gun in the locker room.
I mean, hell, people showing up at the White House and eating with the president and working on the guest list.
But what I'm saying is, I mean, that is a very, he's lucky.
That's serious.
He wasn't there or something like that.
Yeah.
And who knows? He might have had a gun that day.
Yeah.
And that's the issue, you know what I'm saying? If you're going to have rules, and you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, everyone has to abide by it. There was no need for him to have a gun. There's no need.
A precedent was set with Michael Vick and with Plaxico that athletes are not held above the law.
Exactly.
And whether, in Plaxico's case, he ends up in jail a lot longer than he probably should have been in jail. Nonetheless, athletes are no longer above the law.
Well, not on that, I mean, entertainment period, when we just seen Lil Wayne get a charge. Lil Boosie just got a charge. T.I. just got a charge. Yeah. And that leads me to my next question. And I want to know this. Why don't, quote unquote, black athletes or black citizens understand or care about the gun laws in this country? Because that's what I'm saying. I'm saying this more with, quote unquote, African Americans, where more Caucasian they hunt, they use guns, just regular, but they know the laws, the license. Why don't the African Americans understand, or do they just don't care about the gun laws?
I think you said it best. You said it like a lot of the Caucasian athletes in America, whether it be from any sport, Brett Favre, or from anybody, they are hunters. But when you're a black athlete in the United States, and most of you coming from inner city areas, you are the hunted. So they gotta have weapons, and I understand that. We have the right to bear arms in the United States. But at the same time, I don't feel like I'm not giving Gilbert Arenas any pass whatsoever, because he doesn't have to have one in the locker room. But if he had one in his car and he was licensed to have one, I have no problem with it. But taking it in the locker room is just, I mean, come on, dude.
I think what this is, and like I said, this is my opinion. Ever since I've been watching sports and listening to music, you got athletes wanting to be entertainers, and you got entertainers wanting to be athletes. And in this case, the culture now, especially in the rap culture, it's all about manpower. I do this, I'm the man, I kill you if I want, blah, blah, blah. And it's just that culture. Now it's the thing to have a gun, you know what I'm saying, to have a pistol, and you know what I'm saying? And it's just, it's not, 20 years ago, 15 years, a lot of things were taboo if you did it. Now, everybody's carrying a strap. It's just because of the culture, man, you know what I'm saying?
Well, we can understand they carrying the strap, but they don't understand that you have to be licensed for these guns.
But see, that's the overall point, and that goes back to Gilbert Arenas' personality. He doesn't realize, you know, the severity of what he did. You know what I'm saying? He hears Jay-Z or not rappers. I stay strapped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I say, in his case, he was playing a joke. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't really. I mean, he didn't know the severity of it. And like you say, back some people, a lot of the Caucasians, the white people, you know what I'm saying? They know the laws and regulations. And not to say there's black people that know the laws and regulations, but these are just young guys who got a lot of money and used to having nothing, and they feel like they're untouchable.
That's the point right there. Is you're talking about old money and new money, and these guys, you know, these white guys who know the laws and who are just hunters, you know, like the Jared Allens of the world. They have been doing this their whole lives, and they don't necessarily come from the inner city. The rappers and athletes came from nothing. They had nothing, and the only way they got out was by playing basketball or, you know, by getting a recording contract. So it's new money, and they still feel like they're at, you know, where they came from, and that necessitates having firearms.
So would we say that they don't understand the gun laws, or they don't care about the gun laws?
I don't care.
No.
Yeah,
Both, really.
I believe after the Plaxico Burress issue, everybody knows the gun laws.
I think it's more so.
Everybody understands it.
I think it's more so an issue of how you're brought up with the guns, you know. Whereas if you grew up hunting, because there's plenty of, you know, white athletes that don't hunt or don't own guns. But if you grew up hunting and that's what you've used guns for, then that's what you're going to keep using guns for. And you're going to know the laws because you need to know the laws for that type of thing. If you're growing up in an inner city culture where the guns are being used for violence and guns are being used, you know, against one each other, and they're not, you know, seen as so much of weapons as they are accessories, then, you know, you're going to continue to use guns in improper fashions just because you're used to having it in that sense.